Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Pottscast. It is MMA Mayhem here on the Pottscast, and I'm delighted today. I have a returning guest to the show. He's been on the show previously. His episode went down really, really well. People commented, all that kind of stuff. Delighted to have him back. And we're back with big news, actually. It is the Joanne, Kamuela Kirk. Welcome back to the show, sir.
Man, thanks for having me back on again, man. I was honored that you invited me the first time, and dude, I'm shocked you invited me on again, man. Most people only invite me on the show once, and they're like, "Hey, that dude, he talks too much. Let's not bring him back."
Couldn't wait to get you back, man. I had a couple of fighters actually reach out to talk to me about that podcast. Said they really enjoyed it.
Cool.
A mutual acquaintance of ours. I know you know him personally. I know him through a podcast, but Christian Natividad. He was chatting to me, said he listened to the show, really enjoyed it. His brother did as well. His brother heard about it, so working on getting him on the show as well. So it was really cool to kind of get that feedback from those guys.
Sorry, man. I was just saying that I was just talking to Christian about 10 minutes ago at the gym. He and his brother, man, they're good people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I get a great vibe from him, and I'm excited. I haven't sent his brother a message yet. I sort of thought I'd leave it a week or two till after the fight and let him get back to normal before pestering him to come on and talk about fighting again after just getting out of a fight. But I said I would read this out, and I'm going to introduce you as Mr. Main Event. You're going into the main event next Saturday night, LFA. We're going to talk about that. The Mr. Main Event himself is with me on the show. He was excited to announce that he's headlining LFA 107. They needed a young, slick, dangerously handsome, but sometimes homeless-looking finisher to fill the spot, and you couldn't refuse.
Refuse. They wouldn't take no for an answer.
That phone was ringing off the hook. So how did it happen? Because I've always had an interest in people accepting late fights, fights at a late notice, all that kind of stuff. What happened? Somebody pulled out, somebody got injured, and they gave you a call. You give them a call. Tell me, how does it work?
Yeah, man, you know what? I'm not sure I don't know if they had a main event. I'm assuming they had to have had a main event planned, and then something fell through with the main event, and then they needed two more fighters, to fill that spot.
Yeah.
But I was up there last week cornering my teammate, Kyle Estrada, who fought for LFA 106.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was out there, I actually got a call from my manager, Brian Hamper, from Sucker Punch. And he gave me a call and he goes, "Hey, man, LFA needs someone to fill the main event spot. They need a fight to fill the main event spot on May 14th. So it was 2 weeks from the day that he called me, because he called me on Friday, whatever that date was, May 1st, I think. And so anyways, I said, "Man," he goes, are you, would you want that spot?" And I was like, "Absolutely. Yeah. Let's see what we can do." And so 2 days later, so that was on a Friday. And then on that Sunday, a couple days later, they got back to us with an opponent. They said that the opponent accepted the fight. We accepted the fight, and it was that fast. So Friday, I found out about it. Sunday, the fight was official, and by Monday, the contracts were signed. So the whole thing kind of came about very quickly. But what an opportunity, man! I remember how excited I was when I signed with LFA.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago. They're the number one feeder into the UFC. Obviously, just about every MMA fighter's dream and goal is to get to the UFC. It's the biggest organization in the world, and so to fight for the number one feeder into the UFC was a huge deal. And now to be headlining their one of their cards is an honor, and it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 2 weeks notice as well. What do you know about who you're fighting? Like, can you really prepare the way you would usually prepare, or is it just this is the game and you just get on with it?
Yes, this is the game. I am always in the gym. I'm not always necessarily in fight shape. You know what I'm saying? But I'm always in the gym. I'm always training so that when I do get a short notice opportunity, I can jump all over it, whether it's for the UFC or to main event LFA. Yeah. So I'm in good shape. I've been training. I've been consistent with my training, my strength and conditioning, and was fortunate enough to be given this opportunity and was able to jump all over it. As far as my opponent goes, he's a tough dude. At this level though, everyone's tough. Everybody's tough. Everybody. If you're fighting in LFA, you're tough. So he's another tough guy that I'm going to be fighting, just like the last guy was tough who I fought. And I'm confident though, man. He's got a lot of experience. He's got like 30 professional fights. This will be my 15th professional fight. But dude, the way that I see it is, I'm the veteran. You know what I mean? He has more fights than me, but I've been around this game for a really long time. And in my mind, I'm gonna be the veteran, and I am the veteran, and I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do what I do, man. I respect them just like I respect all my opponents, but I'm very confident everywhere.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you said it. You're the veteran. You're in the gym from 3 years old, working out, and pretty much for these opportunities. What about the weight cut? You know, taking a short notice fight, you said you're usually in some form of shape. You're always training. How close are you to your sort of fight weight? And does that make that slightly more difficult for you?
No, because we're both taking the fight at 155. So we're both featherweights. You know, he fights at 45, I fight at 45. But because this is a short notice opportunity for us both, we both agreed to take the fight at 155 so that we wouldn't have to kill ourselves to make the weight.
Yeah,
that's the other thing with this particular matchup is that it's short notice for both of us. It's not like he already had the spot and then his opponent backed out and then I jumped in, or vice versa. We're both accepting this fight on 2 weeks' notice. So it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be interesting. I'm curious what kind of shape he's in. I'm curious how often he's been training. I know where I'm at, you know. Yeah. So I'm excited about all of it. It's gonna be fun to see.
And the thing is, as well, with these sort of short notice fights, is everyone, as you said, especially with both people kind of being asked at short notice, you're going in there with the same sort of preparation in terms of you've only had a couple of weeks to really prepare, knowing that there's an actual fight. So it's similar on that wavelength. But you, like you said, you've been training. How's your training been going? You've been good? You feel good? You feel fresh?
Oh yeah. Everything feels good. The body feels good. You know, I've been working with my strength and conditioning coach, and it's funny because my strength and conditioning coach, the way he's had me train, has been he's been working with me in areas where if there was a short notice opportunity, I would be ready to go. So my strength and conditioning coach is a really intelligent guy, and he always has different programs and different plans depending on where we're at in the camp, or maybe we're out of camp and we just have to maintain, or maybe he wants to make sure that I'm ready and I'm strong in certain areas so that if a short notice opportunity arises, we can jump on it. And that's basically where he's had me at. Since my last fight, I've had 3 short notice calls to get in the UFC. None of them ended up, working out, but I've had 3 calls. And so it's a matter of time before, we knew it was a matter of time before one of those calls went through, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before I actually got accepted. So we wanted to make sure that we were ready in case, for when that opportunity came. And instead, a different opportunity arose. You know what I mean? That was to main event LFA. So we're ready. We've been working. We've been preparing for a short notice opportunity, and here we go. Wasn't exactly what I planned, but it worked out, man. And to be able to headline LFA is still pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And the big thing is headlining as well. They looked for people to headline it, and they went to you. I think that says a lot about your fight style. They like you, the entertainment value, but obviously what you can do in there. And I think that's a credit as well. It wasn't just, we just need someone to fill a spot on the card. It was, we need someone in the main event. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's the main event that sells tickets. It's the main event that puts eyes on the TV when the screen turns on. And I think for you, that's obviously something I think you should take in, as a bit of confidence as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's dude, it's an honor. It was flattering when I got the call and they were interested in having me as the main event. I really enjoy this sport. I enjoy the fighting. I enjoy finishing. I like to finish fights on the feet. I like to finish fights on the ground. I'm always looking for the finish. And then on top of that too, I try to bring some sort of entertainment factor as well. So, whether it's talking a little bit or whatever, dude. I like, it's just, for me, it's fun. A lot of people call this the fight business, but in my mind, this is the entertainment business. You want to be an entertaining fighter. You want to be an entertaining talker, dude, look at what's going on with like Jake Paul. The guy's not even a real fighter, but he's running his mouth. People seem to be entertained by it, and it's working. So at the it's like Connor, except Connor has the skills to back up, what he says. But for the longest time, dude, Connor, he blew up as quickly as he did because he was running his mouth and because he brought a sort of entertaining factor to MMA. So if you can combine the fight game and the entertainment game into one world, then that seems to be the recipe that people are using to have a lot of success. So it's cool, man, that they asked me to be on the show, and I plan on making an entertaining fight.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. And just to touch on what you said, when you're talking about Jake Paul and stuff like that, I wish I started this podcast in 2010 and started calling people out, and I'd be a millionaire by now. You know what I mean? But you're just kind of sitting there and going, this guy started a YouTube channel, started mouthing off to people, all of a sudden has made money. Like, as much as I want to see him get knocked out, fair play. You know what I mean? You've made yourself a lot of money, sort of having fun and having a laugh and all that sort of stuff. Going back to you. Going into this fight, not only are you excited for the fight and excited for all the stuff that goes with it, main event, we've talked about the main event, but it's a big event to kickstart your year. I think you've been waiting by the phone to kind of get this kind of started this year. Are you looking at that as like a launch pad? That's what I kind of look at this as for you, like this launch pad, put you back on the mat. You've been out for a little bit, haven't really had that fight, waiting by the phone. Here's a big opportunity, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely see this as a launch pad. I think what really kind of helped my career was my last fight. I think my last fight was one of my best performances, and just the way that I got it done, it was fun to watch. It was exciting, and I think that is what got a lot of people talking, was that last fight. And I think it was because of that last fight that they asked me to be the main event for this card. Mm-hmm. So I would say that fight in January was the real launch pad of my career. And then I think that this, assuming all goes well, man, what I'm really hoping for is to win this fight in spectacular fashion, and then to fight in the UFC the following month, June 12th, because they're going to be here in Arizona. So that's my goal. That's my plan, is to win impressively, and then to get on that UFC card here in my hometown the following month.
That would be amazing. I think that would be so much fun. That'd be so good. I'm sure the family would be out. Everyone would be out. The friends, the family. That's the ultimate goal. But I think the thing is as well, it's not just about getting there. It's about getting there in spectacular fashion, as you said, and then progressing, which I ultimately see you doing. Even Christian was saying that to me once we finished the podcast, that he sees really big things in your future. And I think it's really cool when you hear other fighters compliment other fighters instead of the trash talk, so to speak. And we've touched on that a little bit earlier on. And when you see someone who, he's had a great start to his professional career, and he's saying, this guy can go all the way. And I think that's a really cool thing. So I'm excited to see this fight on next weekend. And obviously, hopefully, fingers crossed, all being well, you'll be fighting in your hometown next month, because I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, honestly, I like to talk, I like to talk shit and all that kind of stuff, but I'm a religious dude, man, and I believe that I'm big into God's timing and God's plan, whether I understand it or not, whether there have been a lot of things that have happened in my life that I've questioned. I'm like, man, why did this happen? God, what's the deal, God? And man, I look at what's going on now, and I'm like, man, this is God's timing. Here I have the opportunity on 2 weeks' notice to fight for the main event, and I get to go out there, fight this dude, and then the UFC's just so happen, to be in my hometown the following month. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, and what's cool about all this too is I actually just talked to Sean Shelby about a month or so ago, because I was cornering one of my teammates in the UFC, and I saw Sean Shelby at the weigh-ins, and I went up and I shook his hand, and I said to him, hey, what's up, man? My name is Kamuela Kirk. And he knew who I was already, which was cool. And I said, hey, I just wanted to let you know that if there's any short notice opportunity and you need a featherweight, I'm your guy. And he looks at me, he's like, hey, you're on the list. So he knows who I am. I know that he saw my last fight. I know that he was impressed by my last fight. And I think as long as I go out there and put on another good show, which I'm confident that I will, the chance of me getting on that Arizona card, I think is good. It looks good. Yeah. So, and if not, then fine. There will be other cards. But I like the timing, and I like the way this is playing out.
Yeah, 100% agree. And that drive, that focus, that something to focus on and to push towards, that incentive for this fight. Obviously, you're going into this fight, main event, you want to win it, all that sort of stuff. But that incentive as well. The UFC's coming to Arizona. I have a chance to get on this card. That little bit of extra focus and motivation. I'm excited to see what you do. I'm sure, I know it's 2 weeks notice, but I'm sure you're counting down the days just to get in there and get at it right already.
Oh yeah, you know, man, we're fighters and we're training all the time, and you know, you want to fight, you want to be active, you know, and you want to be able to put your skills to the test. If we didn't fight, it would be like going to basketball practice all the time and then never showing up to the game. Like, how fun is that? You know, it's like we kill ourselves in the gym so that we can go out and put on a show, and we can go out and we can get paid and make a name for ourselves. And so, yeah, man, when they gave me the opportunity, I jumped all over it. Of course, I want to fight in 2 weeks. And that's why I've been in the gym, ready for a short notice opportunity. It's like that whole saying, you know, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And that's what I've been doing, and it's worked out. So, yeah, man, it's going to be fun.
Absolutely. Fun's the key word. I love watching you fight. It's always fun. It's always entertaining. Can't wait to see what happens. I'm really excited for you. Just closing sort of words. Is there anything different we can expect from you this time in there? Or are we going to see the same, just fun, trying to finish fight from the start?
Yeah. I think with me, you know what you're going to get already. For the most part. I mean, I definitely have not showcased everything. You know, I mean, I have 10 wins and 10 finishes. 9 of those are in the first round. So, you know, you have not seen all my skills. I haven't had enough cage time to show all my skills because, you know, I'm finishing most of these dudes in the first round. One of my wins was in the second round. So, you know, you haven't seen everything from me. But one thing that you can count on is that I'm going to go out there and I'm going to look for the finish, whether it's a submission or whether it's a knockout. You can count on that. 10 out of 10 times. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Can't wait to see it. Kamuela, thank you so much for coming back on the show. I know it was short notice. Sent you a message. You're like, yeah, let's do it. It was great. Really good to connect with you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And guys, if you like this little bit of a quick chat that we had, we do have a full podcast out. Hit me up. I can send you the links or just look for it on Spotify. You'll find it easily enough. But Kamuela Kirk, main event, LFA 107. Can't wait. Let's go.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.